Hello, this is Mike with SIMA, the Senior Insurance Marketing Association, with a pro webinar, Effective Fact Finding, Setting the Stage. Now, when you're in the home and you're getting ready to start fact finding, it's important because you want to know why you are there, what concerns the prospect, and what products you have to solve those concerns. So something got you in the door, but is that really the reason you're there? I've been in appointments where I thought it was a Medicare supplement appointment, and they were worried about how to pay for their funeral, which of course a Medicare supplement doesn't do, and so on. So you want to make sure you're on the same page with your prospect. Now, to start the process, this is one phrase that I learned early on in my career and stuck with me throughout: is a great sales presentation is a natural flowing conversation that results in a sale. People are much more comfortable having a natural conversation rather than an interrogation about buying insurance. So my opening statement was typically, tell me your situation. This is a great open-ended question. They know you're there to sell insurance, and they probably will base their answer on health issues or insurance issues. Every now and then you get someone to go off on a tangent, but I judge that those people go off on a tangent regardless. So again, it kind of opens the stage to their situation, not just their insurance products, because you may uncover some additional details you need to know to solve their issues. So while they're talking to you and telling you their situation, you want to do three main things. The first thing is take notes. One is to show you're interested, and two, for reference. So just like when you're at the doctor's office and the doctor's writing down as you're talking to them, you feel like, okay, this doctor's taking notice to me. You should be doing the same thing with your prospects. And of course, for reference, if you're talking to someone that's going off on 6 different off-ramps and telling the story, this way you can have points to go back to it and say, well, a few minutes ago you mentioned this back here, so you don't forget to mention that. The second thing is to ask questions. So if they're bringing it up, it's a concern for them. So if they're talking about a hospitalization, they probably have concerns about hospitalizations. And maybe a hidden concern that they may not come out, so you need to ask questions that maybe dig a little deeper, and also to make sure, again, you're on the same page with your prospect. If they're worried about their final expenses and you're talking about Medicare supplements, you're on 2 different pages. And the third one is to plan your products. What products do you have that will solve their concerns? So you have to remember that you have other products in the bag, and as you're bringing things up, what else could you present that might help them out? Now, do caution on using fact finders. Of course, they're great tools, but you want to make sure, again, that conversation is a natural flowing conversation. It's hard to do when you're reading something off a sheet. The best appointment I've ever seen with a fact finder was an agent who'd memorized the fact finder, and as the prospect was talking, he was just filling it out. So, the prospect would answer number 2, then answer number 12, and answer number 3, and answer number 6, because he had it memorized and knew what was where. Now, I personally in homes use a very, very basic fact finder, which is on SIMA Pro for downloading, and it looks like this. It's very simple, keeps it nice and personal, their basic information, their current coverage, what they have, what providers they use, space for notes. The top right corner had the app, when was the appointment, what kind of lead was it, what was the result, my next follow-up. Then the bottom, I had other lines of coverage. So I left this as a Microsoft document, so you can go in and make changes to it. So if you want to add information, subtract information, add different product lines at the bottom, you can do that. So this way it's a customizable piece to suit your style. And for other lines of coverage, I was just simple to remind myself which other lines of coverage I was going to talk about. And then, of course, permission to contact in the future. That was more of a cover my rear end piece in case I was ever audited. I could say, hey, look, this person said I can contact them in case it was a Medicare Advantage or Part D appointment. So you really want to listen to your prospect. Remember, you're asking questions, but make sure you're listening to their answers, not just waiting to talk. They're going to give you clues to what concerns them. When my wife had cancer, when my brother was in the hospital, when my aunt died. Most prospects don't know or don't think about what coverage options exist. As you can see, we have 6 different insurances down there. I bet you if you asked half your clients about 3 of those, they'd have no idea. Most people probably know about final expense. Most people might know there's cancer insurance, but have no idea how it works. They probably have no idea short-term care or home health policies exist. So it's up to us to educate our clients, let them know we could help. And to illustrate this point even a step further, how often you think about what your P&C agent has to offer. If you're like me, only life and health license, I have no desire to go the P&C route or property casualty. I have no idea what my American Family agent has for products. All I know is he has some, and he probably has products I have no idea exist. But it's up to him to educate me on what would meet my needs. So in order to have these powerful transitions and make sure you're meeting your client's needs, you want to ask power questions, as I call them. As Jeffrey Gitomer says, people hate to be sold, but they love to buy. They don't want to be sold a product. They want to say, hey, that product's going to suit my concern or my worry. I'm going to buy it, not you're going to sell it to me. So do you have cancer insurance? I wouldn't say that because they'll just say no, and it automatically starts a negative process. We need to add blank insurance. Well, you know what? You're telling me I have to do that. I want to come to that conclusion. So we need to ask questions that get that prospect to come to the conclusion they need it, not that you want them to have it. And here are some samples of that. If you were diagnosed with cancer, besides your current coverage or current Medicare supplement, what are the means of payment you have in place? If you require long-term care, what are your plans? What plans do you have in place? Your plan has a $250 hospital copay. There are benefits available to potentially eliminate that copay. These are planting seeds for the client. The first one I think is very powerful because if you were diagnosed with cancer, well, anyone can be diagnosed with cancer, so you're not lying. Besides your current Medicare supplement, what other means of payment do you have in place? So what that basically said is, hey, your Medicare supplement's not going to cover everything. If you get cancer, there's a great chance it may not cover it. So now they're going, well, what do you mean? Do I need something else? And now it's, hey, I might need something else if I'm going to have extra expenses. Tell me what I need. So they come to that conclusion, not you telling them. Same with long-term care. They may not know short-term care policies exist. It can help them avoid the nursing home or help them offset nursing home costs as well. There will be a open question white paper to download on SIMA Pro. With this, it should be right underneath this video or in the vicinity of this video. Now, this is a piece, if you're doing cancer policies, this is an excerpt from Medicare.gov. I'll read the first 2 lines and you can read the rest. Your doctor or other healthcare provider may recommend you get services more often than Medicare covers, or they may recommend services that Medicare doesn't cover. This is from Medicare itself, and the rest basically says that you're responsible for these payments. So don't be afraid to pull out your tablet, your laptop, your phone, and show people on Medicare.gov. It says that. And you could say something along the lines of, by adding a cancer benefit, we can make sure your recovery options are not limited to your Medicare supplement or Medicare Advantage. Medicare saying, hey, there are treatment options we don't cover, or they may treat you more often than we authorize, and you're out of pocket. Now there's a solution to that. So we're gonna prevent the problem before it exists with cancer insurance. So then once you are going through the fact finding, you ask your power questions to get people thinking. If they start talking about cancer, rather than say, do you have cancer insurance, use some sort of power question. And again, download that white paper and has sample open-ended questions. I would transition this in somehow like this. Based on what we discussed, we will take a look at maybe a lower cost Medicare supplement or whatever insurance you're there for, and adding maybe a cancer benefit or short-term care benefit or whatever that is to the landscape and see what that looks like. I've had a lot of clients with similar situations take this route. So what we're doing is we're adding it to the landscape and see what that looks like. It's a nice soft way of saying, I'm going to present this to you. But let's add it to the landscape and see what that looks like. Most people are like, yeah, okay. Because it's nice and soft. It's not, you need to buy this. It's like, let's just see what this looks like. Because most people are curious, I wonder what that would look like. I've had a lot of clients in similar situations. That means I've had clients just like you, and I've got experience doing this, take this route. They're not the first ones to ever do this. They know that other people have done it, because a lot of people don't like to be the first ones out of the gate for things. So it gives them assurance that you know what you're doing, and you've helped other people do the same thing. So the presentation, on the products, it's up to you how to present. Some agents write down a piece of paper. Some agents just verbally say it. I always wrote down a piece of paper so they could see it. Put main coverage, or Medicare supplement at $150 a month. Cancer benefit, and always say benefit, not insurance or coverage. Benefit just sounds nicer. So cancer benefit $30 to keep numbers nice and round. So your total monthly premium is $180. Now, if you come up higher because you added a benefit or a policy than what they had before, you can simply say, by adding the cancer benefit, now we're going to make sure that your recovery options are not limited to this Medicare supplement. You're going to get a check for umpty amounts of thousands of dollars to use as you see fit. So you justifying that extra money. And then, and people may just go along right with it, say, yep, I want that, of course. Then you have the option of taking it off as well. So at this point, we ask questions. If you have questions, you could put them in the discussion session on SIMA Pro. So again, thank you for watching this video, and look for more live webinars coming up on SIMA Pro.